Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What a hell of a fucking weekend of wrestling. Well, there was ups, there was downs, there was NXT Takeover New Orleans, there was WrestleMania 34, and then there was just Sunday night absolutely sucked cock, and NXT was actually the real WrestleMania behind WrestleMania. Because in all honesty, NXT Takeover New Orleans was the fucking shit of all shit. It was the freaking bomb. It was the best wrestling event ever produced by NXT and was better than WrestleMania 34. Now that in a nutshell, with WrestleMania 34 being 5 fucking hours long and NXT TakeOver only being a normal 3-hour pay-per-view event, we got more out of a 3-hour show than we did for a 5-hour extravaganza of WrestleMania, the biggest event of all time in WWE wrestling. And that's what we're going to review first here tonight. I'm going to upload the next video after that, the WrestleMania 34, which I'm going to go in detail about and not be too pleasant about. And if you thought WrestleMania 34 was a success, unless it was dealing with financial end, I don't see how this show was at all a success. But money-wise, more than likely it was a success financially. But as wrestling goes, as telling a story goes, as work put in to the show, it was absolute garbage. But getting off of that, let's get into NXT TakeOver New Orleans. NXT TakeOver New Orleans had 5 great matches. Not one match lacked in any kind of credibility. The creativity made by these wrestlers and the story they told in each and every match was unfucking believable. Now, I did mention in my preview prediction video of NXT TakeOver New Orleans that this probably will be by far the best NXT TakeOver ever produced. And I was 100% right. I couldn't believe how fucking right on I was about NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I had every match pretty much, not like the right result of who won and who lost, but in the sense of quality, I couldn't believe how well I nailed this show. I mean, in the sense of the Undisputed Era holding 2 championships, but the tag team titles and the NXT North American Championship. Adam Cole, he shined like a motherfucker in the NXT North American Championship ladder match. He was unbelievable, as well as every other superstar that participated in this match. This match was breathtaking. There was nothing about this match that was horrible. There wasn't a moment that the audience stopped cheering. And quite frank with you, I think this match was outstanding. I think that what they did in the ring was unbelievable stuff. Valentine Dream had some moments. Adam Cole was good. Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane, they look like a storyline waiting to happen as 2 behemoths going after each other at a big NXT TakeOver event. I see those 2 going at it at an NXT TakeOver event coming up soon. So I definitely would watch out for that, guys. Another thing that I liked about this match, Ricochet was unbelievable. He had some moments that were mind-boggling. He goes ahead and he's being shoved off the ladder by Lars Sullivan, and he does a moonsault while the ladder is tilting back and lands on his opponents outside the ring. That was fucking unbelievable. The ladder's being broken in 2 by the Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan. They were actually working together on top of it. They beat the shit out of Ricochet on top of all that. There was so much that happened in this match. If you have not seen this event, you are fucking retarded. There is no reason for you to miss this event. The first match in itself, in a nutshell, says this is the best NXT TakeOver event you're going to ever see. I don't think there's any fucking way in hell that you can go ahead and top what they did Saturday night this past weekend. I was totally impressed by this. Adam Cole, at the end of the day, did win the NXT North American Championship like I predicted, like I stated, that he should be the guy that won the title. Because at the end of the day, the Undisputed Era needs to be the centerpiece of NXT at this point. And they did exactly that. I'll get into the NXT Tag Team title match. Next up, Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship. This match, I actually was pretty satisfied with. I give it, by the way, the NXT North American Championship was a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Nah, fuck that shit. Not 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm giving this match a 5 out of 5 stars. It was picture perfect. Nothing was left out that you couldn't say this match was a classic. Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. Ember Moon being the champion going in. This match, to me, was decent. I actually did enjoy this match. Was it as good as the first match that they had? I don't think so, but there was some moments in this match that was very good. Such as the storytelling and the grit and determination that Shayna Baszler had at the end of this match when she put her in Ember Moon in a rear naked choke to eventually put her out of her misery and pass out to sleep. Ember Moon looked good too. She went ahead, she didn't tap out, she just passed out, and there's nothing she can do about that. If she passes out, the referee has to stop the match, and the match ends with her losing the title, which is exactly what happened. But in the meantime, she did happen during the match mess with Shayna Baszler's shoulder. Shayna Baszler also used the turnbuckle post as a way of jamming her shoulder back into place because she was acting as if it was dislocated, which is actually a pretty interesting bit of detail to give your audience during the match while a championship match is going on. So I actually did enjoy seeing that and seeing some realism out of WWE's creative team to have Shayna Baszler do something like that. But at the end of the day, this match was kind of slow, and I think it had a lot to do with the NXT North American Championship match being on first before this one. So me personally, I think that this was really a it was still a decent match overall. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next match after, and no, Shayna Baszler walked away as the new women's champion, by the way. The next match after that was the tag team titles match. Now, this match I didn't agree with being on third, knowing full well that Adam Cole had went through almost 40 minutes worth of hell in a ladder match. Putting him in this matchup was kind of stupid already. Not meaning putting him in the match itself, but meaning putting this match on third. I think this match should have been just before the main event. To give Adam Cole at least some rest and recuperate from the damage that he endured during his ladder match. And allow him to get some rest. This match was actually decent as well. I really enjoyed this one. This was back and forth action. This was a tornado tag team match, triple threat. There was no idea what the hell was going on here. And at the end of the day, we had a huge surprise that Roderick Strong turned heel and joined the Undisputed Era to help them retain the tag team titles, and plus also go ahead and win the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament. So, that match, my friend, was a 3.5 out of 5 stars in my opinion on that. But at the end of the day, this match was fucking unreal. Hard-hitting, bone-crushing. The Undisputed Era defended against Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain. So, like I said, Undisputed Era is conquering NXT. The only thing they're missing from their group is the NXT World Title, which I think eventually will go around Adam Cole's waist once he loses the NXT North American Championship. That's just my opinion. But I think he needs to win that title soon. So let me think here. What else have we got on the card here? The NXT World Title match. This match was rather fucking good too. This is a 4 out of 5 star match. I actually enjoyed watching every minute of this one as well. Every match on this card was fucking great. There's nothing really to criticize on this event. Really nothing at all. I have no complaints whatsoever. There's not 1 second went by during this event that I say, oh, this sucked. No. This was the greatest of all time NXT TakeOver I have ever seen in my life. And I enjoyed every second of it watching this event. But Andre Cien, I don't know what the fuck it is, but all of a sudden he has turned me into a believer in him as a character, as a performer in the ring. He is, I don't know what happened. Maybe Johnny Gargano helped him redevelop himself or something by having one-on-one matches for 4 different times. I have no fucking idea. But his match with Johnny Gargano back in Philadelphia in January and this one was fucking unbelievable. They kept countering and kicking out of each other's moves, and then finally Aleister Black hit the Black Mass on Andre Cien and walked away the new NXT World Champion, as I predicted. This, quite frank with you guys, it's going to be interesting seeing who is the next person in line to face Aleister Black for that world title. Outside of Cien getting a rematch, I don't know who's going to be after him. But it should be quite interesting. Now, Aleister Black eventually moving up to the main roster after probably a decent title run, probably. I don't want to see that. Aleister Black is going to probably get demolished. I honestly don't see them doing anything special with him, as they've done nothing special with anybody else. I am not really impressed what WWE does to these talent, the talent in NXT. If you got something that works in NXT and you're going to bring them up to the main roster, leave it the fuck alone and let them be appreciated by the audience. But the problem is, here's the issue. And nobody wants to come out and say this shit. But I'm going to say it. There's political propaganda, which I've heard people say. But here's the other thing. It's favoritism. Favoritism, which I'll get into at the WrestleMania 34 event review. Okay? So, Aleister Black and Cien 4.5 out of 5 stars. Decent match overall. Loved every second of it. Really enjoyed it. Now, the match of the fucking night, besides the NXT North American Championship ladder match, this was the second best match on the card. And me, quite frankly, it's just as good as the NXT North American Championship, and this is a 5 out of 5 star match based on storyline telling, the in-ring work that both men did. Johnny Gargano and Thomas Ciampa were fucking unbelievable. Now, could you imagine if the fucking world title was around one of their waists and they were competing over this NXT Championship belt? that would have spelled fucking WrestleMania moment out your ass. I honestly could not believe how well Ciampa and Gargano played a story in front of us and told this story so picture perfect. Everything they did, back and forth, counter, 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 pinfall and kickouts, pinfall and kickouts. That's all we saw throughout the entire match. They give everything they had to put the other one away, and finally, after a long stretch, I would have to say probably 40 plus minutes between Johnny Gargano and Thomas Ciampa, that finally we got a winner, and Ciampa tapped out from a modified crossface that Johnny Gargano performs with Ciampa's own knee brace planted against his face and pulled back on his neck to where he ends up tapping out. Unfucking believable match. I honestly am probably this weekend, if I got nothing going on, I am probably going to watch this whole entire event again. Because I could not believe how they managed to put on a 3-hour pay-per-view event quality show like this. But yet, at the same time, we watch WWE's main roster shit and we get nothing for it. I don't know why. I don't understand it. To me, it's complete idiotic favoritism and bullshit. Anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Let me know what you guys thought about my review on this event. Plus, also, anything that you saw that really stuck out to you guys on the pay-per-view itself. And hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you like to subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.